Hey guys, so I've had some feedback that people are really missing my whiteboard spiels, but they love the videos. And they love the videos, not buts, but ands. Okay, key piece here when you are struggling with having tons of meetings which are random and just not ending and closing a deal or a decent sized deal really is coming down to, in terms of the tactical part, talking to the right people. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The key pieces really are that you are talking to people who you either really like technical discussions, and that is because you have a background in and the technical aspects of how you actually fix people's problems. So if you're a leadership consultant, you enjoy talking about the technical aspects of organizational leadership problems and fixing things at that level. If you have a research background, then you enjoy perhaps technical discussions. And the thing is that if you're struggling with accessing high level people, one thing that what you might be doing is that you are finding it easier to hide behind the technical discussions. And a really great test for that, I'm going to give you a little tip here, is that make a list of people who you want to speak to in the morning. Work through that list, emailing, calling, LinkedIning, texting the people who you want to see. And at the end of your day, these are the people who you want to speak to, not the people who you are going to end up only speaking to, but the people who you really want to speak to. And then look at that list and see, who did you resist contacting? And if you have a list in a company, if you have a list of people from the top level through to lower level people, if you find yourself starting the lower level people and you can feel it in your stomach if you know you should have contacted them. And if you are finding that you're resisting that, then do watch this video, because this is really important. And it means that you must address this, because what that means ultimately is you are not going to be selling. You're going to be losing energy, critical time, wasting time talking to the wrong people. And I promise you, you are going to be exhausting your existing network, which is potentially filled with the wrong people. What I mean by that is people who have no power, no purchasing, decision-making ability. They're not strategically positioned, which means that they're not connected to the strategic direction of the business. And either that means they don't have any ownership, they don't have any leadership. They're not in a leadership team. They're really not in a position to sell you in at a higher level so that you can be a strategic advisor and be in a position to make the larger deals. And critical then, people who are not committed to growth, not really committed to growth of the business. I mean that people who really have a stake in this. Now, I put myself on a limb out here, and that's fine because I stand for this. In my experience, often what is happening when you're being pulled in is that they're in a shift in some way, which means there's a merger that's come in place, which is not working out. They're in a serious period of growth and they're struggling with that. They're in an industry which is struggling. And so the reason why some companies are ending up struggling is because they have a CEO or a leadership team who is not really committed to growth themselves. And the thing is that the people who are in these positions then are going to also be recruiting people who are following in their line and following that shadow. Now, what that means is that down below that, having said that, people who I'm often seeing people are getting in touch with are HR level and R&D level. Now, the problem here is that none of these people have this. HR has no strategic power, it just doesn't. R&D, unless there's a specific structure, they're not tapped into the business making, the commercial success aspects of the business, which is where you need to be positioning yourself in order for your own commercial success, in order for you to close bigger, better deals. Now, where you could be lucky is if you reach an HR person or an R&D person who themselves is very ambitious and really looking for growth. And so you're really building on their ambition. They're either looking then to become CEO themselves over time, and or they are looking to jump ship. That's my experience of these things. But in principle, if you are not making sales at the level you want, if you are not having commercial success at the level you want, and you are talking to only this level of person, there's a correlation there. And so you need to be making a shift in that and talking to the right people. So if talking to the right people is a problem for you, I'm going to hop right behind the computer and we're going to be going through how to build commercial success. See you in a minute. This is the number one thing that I want to be talking about. If you fix this piece here that I'm showing you right now, reframing your value, if you fix this inside, all of the rest will solve itself. That you need to first of all reframe your value, which means your self-worth. That is how you hold yourself in terms of others. And this is not about your certifications, your mechanics, your degrees you have, if you have your products. And so, no, this is what I call your input. It has to always be about their outcomes, the outcomes of your prospects, the outcomes of the people who influence them. In my world, there are only two people. There are prospects, people who may buy from you, and influencers, people who have either already bought from you, so existing or past clients, and who will act then as referrals, and or people who have bought into you. And those are people who will influence your success in some way, either act as a kind of mentor for you and or importantly, influence prospective buyers. So this is why it's really important to always be thinking in terms of after sales as well. So it's not about your input. They don't care who you are. I promise you, nobody wants to buy a program with you. Nobody really wants to buy your products. What they do want is to have results. They want outcomes. They want commercial success for them. They want commercial success for their clients. It's all about the ultimate destination, ultimately of their clients and the people who are the players who are on the field. It's about impact. It's about client success stories. And it's really about their certainty that, looping back to you, it's about their certainty of your expertise, your experience, how you can help them achieve the outcomes that they want. Now, before you can help someone understand your value here, your expertise and your experience and your transformative value, you have to have absolute internal conviction of it for yourself. And so this is where you really have to be working on this, reframing your own value. So anyone who comes to me says, I can't access the CEO, they won't talk to me, they won't talk to my call. It's all coming down to your own perception of your own value. You need to reframe your value. You have this already inside of you. This is simply tweaking and reframing. I promise you, you already have amazing secret sauce, which simply needs to be repackaged and represented. What have you already achieved? What kind of emails are you getting? What are people actually asking you to do? What are people seeking your advice for? You're looking for consistent themes and patterns. Linking back to this, testimonials, referrals, these are all coming from what I call influencers. Influencers are where people fall down all the time, and these are the source of your best and most high profit business. Who influences your clients? Who do your clients serve? If you do not have a testimonials and success stories folder, you need to start one right now. We talk about moving in angles. This is all about building your strategic network. Even if your connections are R&D, HR, people who are at lower levels, not buying power levels, you have it all in your laptop already now. The power of your network is in your second and third degree connections. I believe in digging where you stand. I have a very pragmatic approach to this. Do not waste time meeting. If you have a meeting booked in your calendar right now with someone who has no buying power, I want you to email them or call them and say, look, this is a change management system. I really want to find out what else is going on. Let's sit down with the leader. If they're on holiday, when will they be back? I want to discuss with this. And you use hold hand pointing in your psychology of this. You don't say, would you be available? You say, let's do this. You instruct people. You have to be seen as the advisor. You must respect your own time, and then others will respect you as well. You do not want to be overly available and chasey and peddling in that way. You really want to be instructive in this way. The big deals take a little bit of time, and it will be so much richer. Your reputation will be at a much more elevated level. And this is a process which in itself will reframe your value. We're going to be talking a lot more about this. My name is Mary Rose Hoya. My method that we're talking about here is Expert Profit Engine. And if this resonates with you, head over to expertprofitengine.com, download our free guide. Do get in touch because I'd love to know what you think about this. I'd love to know what your sticking points are. I'm really pretty sure that you have all the amazingness inside of you. This is simply tweaking. So I'd love to hear more from you, and we will talk soon. Have a great day.